whenever you are in a role, in a public role, right, when you are serving the people, you have to always keep in mind that you are accountable as well. And that accountability plus transparency plus fairness, this drives you to build systems which are responsible. So when you combine ethics with explainability, you are a step ahead into the journey of responsible AI. Even today as well, right? I have a wonderful leadership that listens to my advice and does what is right for the state.
Hello and welcome to The Shift, powered by ET Edge Insights. It's a platform where we talk to industry leaders to deliberate key issues that change the world around us. And today we have with us a special guest in Mr. Shubhradeep Nandi, who is the Chief Data Scientist with the Government of Andhra Pradesh. Mr. Nandi, welcome.
Pleasure.
All right. So, having transitioned from founding deep tech startups to leading data driven governance, how does this entrepreneurial background influence your approach to solving systemic public sector problems?
Yeah, I think first of all, thanks for inviting me and having me part of this wonderful event. Okay. When we are serving people, right, it's no different from entrepreneurial venture, right? There are challenges, and as somebody who has built startup in the deep tech space, right, you always have this ammunition with you, which is deriving insights from data. So how to convert data to information, and then from information to insights. Now, when you are serving the people, right, there are a lot of data, lot of intriguing insights which are available. All that you need to do here is that just switch on your entrepreneurial hat with a mode of serving people. And that's what I have done, right? So I have ensured that all that I have learned in my entrepreneurial journey, I can bring that together and start helping the different people in management and leadership to make better decisions.
Right, right. There's a lot of talk of responsibility in governments, when it comes to AI. You've spoken a lot about fairness in AI, especially in financial services. How do you balance algorithmic transparency with the ethical question in AI?
Right. So you have to probably see responsible AI using these two lenses, and they overlap as well. So number one is the ethics of AI. Number two is the explainability, right? So when you combine ethics with explainability, you are a step ahead into the journey of responsible AI. So just adding a few more points to this, right? So when you know that you are building a system that's going to benefit people, you also need to think it in this way that if this system is giving some insights, can I explain how these insights are primarily built using the algorithms? Can I trace back and tell, okay, this is how it has thought through in this particular format and have come back with this response? So can I justify that? So that's the most important thing.
Right.
The other part is that the ethical part, right? Accountability, right? So whenever you are in a role, in a public role, right, when you are serving the people, right, you have to always keep in mind that you are accountable as well. And that accountability plus transparency plus fairness, right, this drives you to build systems which are responsible. And that's what I'm attempting to.
Right. Now, coming on to scaling data culture at a bureaucratic level, you have established the state's first data analytics unit in Andhra Pradesh, which is no small feat. What cultural or perhaps organizational barriers did you face when you were at it? Because, today we live in a world where it's very important to have a data first mindset.
See, I would probably rectify this part and tell you that, see, I have been just one player in that, right? There are many more players who have been catalyst to setting this up. All that I have done in this is that I have given the right inputs at the right time And to be honest, I was blessed to have a wonderful leadership. And even today as well, like I have a wonderful leadership that listens to my advice and does what is right for the state. So that way, I believe that working for Andhra Pradesh, right, I have been able to help the people who really want to bring the change achieve it using the right information. Now, coming to the other part, right? Nobody likes change, right? We are all resistant. As a human being, we are all resistant to change.
True.
But the second part is that we are also all logical people, right? Now, I cannot come and tell to you that tomorrow don't wear shoes. I cannot tell you, right? You will say, right, what change it is. But if I come and tell you, there is a reason, there is a logic, there is a step by step process. And that is the reason I'm suggesting that today in this particular place, please don't wear shoes. You, as a human being, right, when you say empathy in the other person, you start thinking for that other person. Does that point has a logic? And that's what we have done. We have not done anything different. We just didn't bring a set of data points and dumped into someone. We have made the individual part of the journey. And that's where, when somebody becomes part of the journey, gets empowered, and becomes probably the flag bearer of what you want to do, which is for the benefit of the state.
Right. Now, there's a lot of talk about generative AI working at the grassroots level, right? Your recent research on large language models, you know, given that you have extensively done research on this space, how do you envision Gen AI having a real meaningful impact at the grassroots level, be it in agriculture, in education, or even local governance for that matter?
Yeah. So I see every form of AI. And today we are in the era of generative AI, right? So I see every form of AI as a tool that can enable us to become probably better at what we do. So, getting back to LLMs, right? LLMs are nothing but large language models. Now, one of the biggest challenges, right, which erstwhile AI and specifically the field of natural language processing had was that it was never able to reach the state of art of language based interaction and intent. That is something which has got changed with the advent of generative AI, which are nothing but transformer based models, right? So 2017, Google Brain came up with this research paper, which is primarily how can transformer models better language processing, and that has really revolutionized things, right? Now, machine translation from one language to other language is no hard deal, right? Number two, let's say if you are trying to build an application which is for the farmers, right? It is really not hard. You don't need a very big team because you can develop applications. And I don't know name some of the solutions, but there are at this point of time solutions available where a person from the business background, right, can ditch a large technical team and build a solution of for himself or herself and use it. If there is a philanthropist, if there is a social worker, they can themselves build their own applications.
All right.
At a very minimal cost, and they can put their, I would say, imagination to action using generative AI. So that's one of the aspect, right? I would also add to this that there are some challenges also, right? So language models do have some hallucination issues. So while we can build great apps and they can cater to some of the extent, but there is a challenge of hallucination which also has to be curtailed, right? So I'm putting this cautionary note so that
Right.
people don't take my words as an advice to build apps left and right. They should also be cautioned on the challenges which are there.
Right. Coming to the future of public AI infrastructure, do you foresee Indian states or even perhaps the central government developing sovereign AI models to regionally cater to specific needs? Do you think that can happen going forward?
So as we are speaking, government of India and state governments are investing. We do see, and while I'm saying we do see, we do need it, right? What has been happening, right? It has been that we were exporting data and buying intelligence. And this is something which I've been telling for a long time, right? So there is a school of thought that there are already wonderful models available outside India. Why not use them? So my point is to definitely use it, right? But when we have such a wonderful skill set available in India, people who can do frugal innovations, why not build something out of India and that we can be proud of? And the most important part, we are not exporting our critical data of financial, defense, and other thing outside India, right? And then buying intelligence. We can keep all of them within India, harness it, and build it for the benefit of our people.
Mr. Nandi, this has been really insightful. Thank you so much for taking all the time for this.
So I think pleasure is all mine, right? This interaction was very insightful, and I am sure you have done a lot of deep research into this, and I saw that few of your questions are very deep. Thank you for asking them.
My pleasure. Great pleasure.